What's up, guys? If we go a couple of months back and revisit the Computex 2023 and we go specifically to InWin's booth, if you remember the beginning of the video, it starts with that huge case that was placed in front of their booth, and I was shocked to see such a huge cube basically in front. Well, that's the InWin ModFree, and this is specifically the Deluxe Edition. That was a whole combination of compartments placed inside, well, attached to a one case, and they managed, what they did is they placed loads of builds inside to run, well, not simultaneously, but they could have done that as well. So what we have here is a Deluxe Edition. You have also the regular one, which comes with 4 compartments. And that's not all, because this case really brings out loads of cool stuff on the table for you guys to adjust, upgrade, add more compartments, create whatever you wish, and it's quite cool. Now, the one thing that I notice is that, except for that you notice that the tempered glass is dark tinted, is that there are no covers, for instance, like for the power supply shroud. So this is where the tempered glass, dark tinted tempered glass, comes in play, where it kind of hides those unnecessary visible cables. And even though you could manage everything nicely, this is a bit of a help from InWin, right? But I won't take that as a negative, because this case really brings loads of stuff to the table for you guys to start building a case that can be modified in those terms as you wish. So for instance, if you want to remove any of the panels, this is it. So 1 tempered glass down, 3 to go. Here we go. So the next one, here we go. But that's not all, because all panels, this one is the back from the top compartment, can be also removed at the same time, the same way basically, because they're all attached with pegs and they have additional stands that keep the panels stable in that position. As you can see right here, we have the bottom compartment, which is designed for one hard drive here, as I can see, power supply cables and everything else. The middle compartment is for your main components. The front compartment can be, and it's a bit, it's not strange, but it's kind of different, let's put it this way, because you get this case, the Deluxe Edition, with 4 140 Jupiter fans, addressable RGB PWM, 3 in front, 1 at the rear, and of course you can go with 120 at the back if you desire, but I don't see a reason why. And then in the middle compartment you have another bracket that can accommodate 280 or 240 millimeter radiator, which is also good, but it's also removable, so it gives you kind of more opening for the GPU, because right here you're currently limited for the GPU length. If you remove it, you get more space. Then right here we have the I/O port, so you have the power on button, you have 2 USB 3.0, you have 3.5 millimeter 4-pole jack, and you have USB Type-C. Quite great, quite accessible, and quite a different position from the cases that we're used to, top, front, top, and similar stuff. But here we have it on the side. That's nice. The front has a dust filter, the top has a dust filter. Well, it's not an actual dust filter, but it's more like a, let's put it this way, a fine mesh where it's small enough to block dust, but wide enough to get that airflow done properly. And at the bottom we have an actual dust filter that you can just slide it out from the back. Now the top the compartment can be done to accommodate a 360 radiator, or I think even we could squeeze a 420, but I'm not quite sure here. I have to check that later on. Regardless of that, we have the possibility to mount it here, and the cool thing is, let's say cool thing, the top compartment goes into the front compartment, and then when you place the tubes on the front, they kind of reroute through the front and go into the main compartment right here. You can leave the bracket from the main compartment for the radiator, but you can actually remove it. It's totally unnecessary to have it. It doesn't block air that much, but it's still something that you'll want to remove just in case you want to have some visual aspects when it's clean and looking nice. When we're talking about the cables, here we go. So from the bottom compartment to the top compartment, you don't have actually a power supply shroud cover that will cover up everything here. I haven't noticed it inside my box. I didn't get anything such as that. So what happens here is that all cables are visible here. And this is where the dark tinted tempered glass comes in play, right? But then again, you can reroute the cables at the back, and at the back you have loads of possibilities for their Velcro ties, for the zip ties, to nicely manage the cables. And if you really go into those details, you can manage the cables right here. So this gives you loads of wiggle space. Loads of wiggle space. You can really do wonders here. To detach each of the compartment on top, of course, you have to remove all the side panels and the top panel, because here we go, the top panel is straight and easy to remove. We have pegs and we have magnets attaching it, so such easy adjustment, placement, usage, and the magnets really do help. But you have a lever on front that you push, and then you just slide out the box, the compartment. The bottom one and the front one, you do need to remove the legs just in case, because you can't detach it from it, because they are practically, you know, the front legs are attached to the front and the bottom compartment. You could remove the top compartment, the middle one, right, the main one, because the lever is right here at the back. So it's really straightforward when we're talking about building and assembling these all compartments. And you won't get confused when we're talking about the side panels and how to mount them, how to place them, because it's really straightforward. At the back you have two possibilities to mount, well, two brackets to mount 2.5 inch SSDs. And the cool thing at the back, we have 8 PWM controller and 8 addressable RGB controller that you only need to connect SATA power for that. And you need to connect 4-pin PWM to your motherboard and 3-pin addressable RGB 5 volts to your motherboard as well. Then you control everything through BIOS and through proprietary motherboard software, which is really straightforward. There's nothing to complicate, honestly. So I don't know if there's anything left to say in those terms. The case is really spacious when we're talking about the Deluxe Edition. You can extend it to, I don't know, abnormal stuff. I mean, really, this case, you don't even have to add any more fans. And unfortunately, it is a shame that, and I just remembered this, that the power supply shroud cover doesn't exist. But it would be cool if, since all the cases now have those, can place fans on top of here. I mean, there's no point on placing additional fans on the front cover of the middle compartment, because you have 140 blowing inside the case, and they're more than enough to do that. But here at the bottom, I think it will be, I don't know, quite cool, and to have that additional cover just to hide those cables, just that, nothing else. I think we can do this. Oh, sorry for that, but I think we can do this quite easily. Yeah, here we go. So if you don't want to see the cables, even though it's a dark tinted tempered glass, you can use the panel from the back and use the tempered glass at the back, and that's all there is to it. So you hide the cables, you place the tempered glass right here for the main compartment. You can do it for all sides. You can switch this one with the rear one, you can switch this one with the rear one, and that's all there is to it. Quite cool, I do have to say, really, really innovative. I do have to admit that, and in those terms gives you some flexibility of building inside this case. So ModFree is something new, the same thing as Jubilee, and it's an easy sustainable system. So it's designed to use the case toollessly and interlock all the compartments together, which allows you guys to easily swap modules around and gives you an option to create a build that you really want. So it offers also a 3D interactive assembly guide with easy to follow demonstrations, the same thing as we saw at InWin Jubilee case, and which gives you also ideas on how to use each module. So it's not only that you can go with an AIO on top, that you could go with fans on the front, that you could go on power supply at the bottom. You can really combine and do wonders with this case. It comes with 4 Jupiter AJ140 addressable RGB case fans. Also includes the fan hub, as already stated, and USB 3.2 generation 2 times 2 type C, 2 USB 3.2 generation 1 type A, combo microphone stereo 3.5mm jack, and power on power off button. This case can support up to 7 case fans or 2 420mm radiators, the Deluxe Edition, plus it can easily accommodate longer power supplies up to 390mm of space, which is totally unnecessary. Flagship GPUs can go up to 440mm with Mod 3 installed, but I think you do need to remove the bracket, of course, in the middle compartment. And CPU coolers can go up to 200mm of height. So it can accommodate eATX because I have an eATX board right here. And the new initiative, the I Build I Share, is committed to develop interactive and engaging products to give you guys some more interaction with the case to build and enjoy. I mean, the Jubilee was really fun because in those terms I've been building loads of this kind of cases that you have to do it from scratch, but Jubilee was definitely one of my favorite. Now we have something here that is pre-assembled, but you can reassemble it and do all sorts of stuff, right? So that's insane. Now let's check out the thermals. So AIDA64 Extreme Edition, the CPU with MR36 from InWin goes up to 90 degrees, and we're talking about AMD Ryzen 9 7900X3D. Clock speed go up to 4850 MHz, and the GPU is dead silent and dead cool, 63 degrees at full load. Cinebench is running somewhere around 81 in average, so we're going from 80 to 82 degrees, but I would say average 81. The clock speed was on average on 4850 MHz as well. And the Cinebench score actually retained the same as in Jubilee because we are running the same system as we did there. It's still a nice ventilated case. So it starts at 26,335 and we go even up to 26,000, almost touching 400. So I would say it's an average of 26,350. In terms of modularity of this case, because this is mod-free modularity, something like that, it's an outstanding case, and I do have to say the initiative behind it, it's a great idea. Really surprised that it's this easy to remove the top compartment, place the AIO, place it back in, click it to the main chassis and just work with it. Just easy building. There's no philosophy, there's no, not philosophy, but yeah, you're not thinking too much about it. You're just building straightforward and placing the panels back on. You don't have to think about any thumb screws. You don't have, well, yeah, you do have to think about 2 screws that are apart from the power supply, and the GPU is the anti-sag holder for the GPU. That's it. That's it. I'm not mentioning, of course, the 12 screws for the 360 AIO. I'm not mentioning the 9 screws for the motherboard because that's mandatory. The GPU, 2 screws, depending on the thickness, 4 screws for the power supply. That's mandatory. I'm not taking that into consideration whatsoever. So additionally, that you need to actually tie up with screws is 2 screws that are the same design as for the power supply, and for the motherboard and the GPU is the GPU anti-sag bracket, and that's all there is to it. Quite outstanding. Big thumbs up. PC crazy badge without a doubt for InWin ModFree, especially the Deluxe Edition. The fans are outstanding. You can regulate the speeds as you wish. The fan hub at the back is a nice addition, and I really wish more case manufacturers would actually do that, you know, because it kind of simplifies the cable management at the back, giving you 2 cables running out of it, all cables running towards it. I mean, sorry, 3 cables, because we have to give it some power with SATA. So yeah, 3 cables running out of it. With 8 connections, there will be 16 cables running inside that. And it kind of does make it easier to build and reorganize everything. So guys, another case from InWin that definitely deserves big thumbs up from me personally. This is InWin's ModFree Deluxe Edition. And because of it, I'll place also the links in the description for the ModFree Deluxe, for the regular version, and for the MR36 as I did in that video. You can check that review for the MR36 and Jubilee at the end of this one. And that'll be all for today, guys. So if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and guys, I'll see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.